Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast Modern Couples What Your Therapist Never Told You. My name is Rick Miller,
I'm Lilian Borges.
and today's session is Holiday Drama Deciding Where to Go.
We are already there. Oh my God.
How can that
I
be?
don't know.
Impossible.
This year just flew by and I just here already. I don't feel ready and I'm not looking forward to all the crazy stuff, but I'm looking forward to get together with family and stuff.
I always feel a little bit of dread facing the holidays because there's a lot to do. I'm Jewish. Will I do it the right way? Am I having enough fun? All sorts of things.
What do you mean I'm Jewish? What does that have to do with being Jewish and being holidays?
That's true. I think about the holidays as Christmas.
Oh.
And it feels as though people that celebrate Christmas make a much bigger deal of the holidays around tradition, as we're
Mm.
talking in today's episode, where, how, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting because religion can be such a big part of it. Some people do not celebrate Christmas. Where I'm from, this is a huge thing. Brazil, we are all Catholic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we celebrate for religious, but also there is the getting together and making a big deal. In my family, that was a big deal. I had an aunt that invited everybody
That's so
and
nice.
she would do every single dish that we liked. So she did what I liked, my dad liked. So that means that if there was 30 people, 30 different dishes.
Well, I have a confession to make, and then we can talk about the issue. But I grew up in a Jewish household, but my parents owned a retail store or stores, so we always celebrated the holidays on Christmas Day, which is so not Jewish, and a lot of my friends would make fun of me. And so growing up, we had a meal, we shared presents, all that stuff. And then as adults, it just kind of fell away. So sometimes I feel lonely on Christmas Day, and all my friends have plans and, not me all the time.
Yeah, and my ex-husband is Jewish. And it was so interesting, so much fun because we joined traditions.
Oh, I like that.
It was just not mine or his. So we had celebrated Hanukkah, we had candles, we also celebrate Christmas and we had the Christmas tree and we had, exchange presents. So I think it's so much richer when we joined traditions, right? Because that can be a source of conflict for couples, don't you think?
Totally. Well, that's why we're here today, and I love the fact that you found a way of making it happen. So, I don't why don't you begin about what makes this a challenge for couples?
Yes, I think that we all get together as a couple thinking, I will keep up my traditions. But sometimes that can be challenging for the partner. I have a couple that I see, and he thinks that his wife's traditions really, he's not connected with that. He feels that this is not who he is, and he feels that if she does more of his her traditions, exclude him, and he feels that it's going to grow. So there is this not sharing piece of the traditions that I think that is a problem. When you can talk about it and then you can join what is important to you in the holidays. And how can we make this inclusive and something that is important for the two of us?
I totally agree with you, and yet what happens with so many couples is that the traditions that they grew up with are what they want, and that they frequently want to do things their families' way and also celebrate with their families, and their families want them to celebrate with them. So it is a frequent source of tension between couples. Who goes where? Do we do it separately? Do we do it together? Do you win? Do I win? And a lot of hostility can come out about resentment towards families, which can be really dangerous.
Yes, this scorekeeping thing. Last year we did your family. Now this year we are going to do my family. But wait a minute, my family is doing this is very special this year. And It's not about really scorekeeping. It is about how to make it meaningful and important and inclusive for the two of them.
I think a lot of people never had to negotiate what to do for the holidays when they were younger. So as adults, it comes as a surprise that this is a big source of conflict for people.
Yes.
And I agree about the scorekeeping. And then there's other people, a friend of mine, in fact, who was telling me that they go to her family's house every Christmas and it's never been talked about. And maybe she feels like she's flying under the radar like, "Phew, I get to do it my way. We can go to the other person's holiday at a different time." But it's so complicated, especially because within families, there are subsets and other family celebrations. So sometimes families celebrate at one house in the morning, at another house in the afternoon. And sometimes parents are divorced. So an individual in a couple can have two or three different families simultaneously. It's really overwhelming.
It can be overwhelming. The workload, you sometimes do so much to the presents and the dishes and this and that for this family, for that family, that at the end of the day you are exhausted just sharing the Uber with your with your partner and not really connecting. So I think it is important to understand that and do little resets. Spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes together just talking to each other, just resetting, just cuddling or holding hands or just breathing, giving those spaces. But you mentioned something that I think it's important when you go to someone else's home, right? If I go to my mom's home, my dad's home, some of the old patterns can be triggered. So we might be sucked into that role again. And that might be very draining, right, for the person who is going back to those. So keeping the differentiation as you are with your partner and still enjoying your family, it is can be dicey, can be difficult.
I've spent so much time with couples arguing about this very thing for weeks in advance because frequently one partner does not like the way that their partner regresses with their family of origin and they don't want to be part of it and they don't want to participate and they resent the family for it. And another issue that comes up a lot is people that are enmeshed with their families are expected to do the tradition the way that the family always does it, including the spouse. And if they don't, it creates tension and people feel like they're letting their family down and they feel guilty about it. And then they feel resentful towards their partner because they want to participate. It's so loaded.
A lot of family drama can happen during the holidays. A lot of the family drama. And gets in the way of us actually enjoying being with the family and enjoying being with your partner. And how to navigate that is really interesting.
How did you decide with your husband how to navigate the decision making and the communication about where to spend the holidays with whom and how? Because so much of it is in advance.
Yes, that is the key for couples, right? Is to predict what's going to happen. That's not the first time. You know what's going to happen when you go, and how to talk about it to prevent or to find ways that you can support each other. It is important to understand that your partner is the main person, is the most important person, and not your family of origin. I understand that there is a lot of fears of being ostracized or being rejected by your family of origin if you don't do X, Y, or Z that they expect you.
That's a tough one. And I agree with what you're saying that in a couple, putting the couple first is the biggest priority. And if one message comes through on each of our episodes, that's probably one of the biggest ones. And for some reason, people feel as though the holidays, they get a free pass, that they get to be a little bit more primitive or side with their family over their partner, sometimes because they've never challenged their family before. And they don't know how.
Differentiation, differentiation, differentiation.
Yeah.
Become an adult. We all go through be your own person, become an adult means that you have a partner. Your partner, need to negotiate and put that person first. And sometimes that can be tricky for some families who are more enmeshed, who do not allow much of the differentiation to happen. And it can really create a lot of drama and friction. What I tell my couples sometimes is talk about it. Find ways that you can support each other if you see that your partner is struggling. What is that you can talk to each other and decide what is the thing that you should do. Maybe if your partner sees that you're struggling, it will come and hold your hand and just stay there with you, or maybe calls you away when they see that they are in a difficult dynamic with a mom or a dad, or be on your side, be on their side if they are being put down or, not being treated fairly.
There's so much I wanna say about that, the actual holidays and things that come up, but I also wanted to share something I was thinking about before we recorded, which is before a couple makes a decision, I think they should agree to hear each other about their hopes or dreams with the holidays, and if they could do it their way, what it would be. And so instead of having a fixed idea before the conversation, which might lead to an argument, each person takes enough time to speak about what they would want to do this year, why that's important to them, how it feels, how they feel vis-a-vis vulnerability, even talking about it, and make sure that they hear each other and then make a decision as a team there. Because frequently what happens, and for some reason holidays are so loaded, that people make their own decisions before the discussion. They tighten up, they become defensive, and it becomes an instant argument because there's no vehicle for openness at the beginning of the conversation.
I love that idea. I love having the couple talking about their hopes and dreams for the next year, how would they want to be during the holidays. That is so important and something that we all miss.
Yes.
We all miss that.
I have worked with a lot of Latino families over the years, and it's expected that the entire family stays together. And when it doesn't happen, it's like a betrayal. And sometimes family members won't speak to the people that won't show up. And even if it's for good reason, as in I'm in a relationship and we live in a different country, it's so big that it takes a lot of work, again, differentiation for the person in the couple to decide to meet elsewhere rather than with their own family of origin. And then they have to deal not only with their mother or their father, but the whole system, cousins, siblings. I mean, the whole gamut.
I know, I know. That happened to me once, by the way.
It did?
Yes, I decided to spend Christmas somewhere else because I came to the US. I decided to spend Christmas here. And Christmas Day was a very good price for, for a flight. So I said, I'm going to go to the US. Oh my God, that was a big thing. How dare I spend Christmas without my family?
And you stuck with it.
Yes, I stuck with it. I always did what I wanted anyway, which is interesting. I don't know if it's a firstborn thing or if it's me thing.
So it gave you permission to do your own thing. I like that about you.
I'm in a place in my life nowadays that I see a lot of blended families. If you get together later in life, what are the odds that you don't have a family already? And then you have how to manage the different families in the holidays and the responsibilities, quote unquote, to your family, a family of origin, your family, your kids, your grandkids. That can be very complex and how to manage that, especially when you're talking about adult children, that they have their own kids as well.
So I'm thinking about your own family, if you're comfortable addressing it. I know your daughter lives on the other side of the United States with her nuclear family. I know you have a close family in Brazil. So how do you decide with whom and when and how? And as you're in relationships, how do you decide?
My daughter is my priority. So I give priority to my daughter in any holiday. And I try to negotiate that with my partner. He has his own family with his own grandchildren. And we try to decide every year what to do and how to do it, how to share the holidays, how to share Christmas and Thanksgiving and things like that. And I go to see my family in Brazil once a year in a time that we are all available, because my sisters also have their own family of, blended families and husbands families and stuff like that, so that they have there. So I do not want to be competing with that time, so I decide to see them in a different time when I can actually spend more time, individual time with them.
That's great. Sounds good. I have a question. Thinking about a few couples that I've worked with that spend holidays separately from each other to keep peace with their families of origin. So they go in separate directions instead of spending the holidays together. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that is a alternative. You have to see what works for you. So when it comes to holidays, we need to be flexible, respect each other's time, and respect the adult children's as well. So I think that we have to think outside the box sometimes. We have to be flexible. We have to be taking account people's feelings and what it means for them. And if 1 year or every year it means that they are going to have separate holidays, it's fine, as long as it is okay with them.
What about their couples therapist? I say it because there's always a part of me, the romantic, joyous part of me that wants them to be together. In some of these couples, they're gay couples so that they settle with less as part of their couplehood and less intimacy and less conversation because it's easier to go separate ways and just do things their way. And a part of me wants them to blend their families a little bit more, to take a little bit more risk, or simply to be with each other over the holidays and enjoy each other's family. So it's a funny piece about being a therapist and my own wish, which of course is not the agenda for couples therapy.
Well, no, it's not a agenda that the couples have to fulfill your wishes.
I wish it could be that way.
Yes, I don't, but but what I'm hearing is that you wish them to be happy, and sometimes being gay in a gay partnership, they too soon or too often give up their dreams for a specific happy event or something like that, for being conflict avoidant, or because they didn't even think that they were, have the right to do so. What do you say to them?
Well, I think what you're getting at, which is a very apt point, is that growing up gay can result in people feeling like second citizens, and the secrecy and the privacy of that becomes a norm. And so, as an adult, it's okay if I don't spend Christmas with my family because I'm used to keeping secrets or keeping private anyway. So that I think that's part of where my wish comes from. I already forgot the question that you just asked me. Do you remember?
Well, the question is, how do you help your gay couples to not give up on happiness and having their own traditions and not following this
The blueprint.
yes, this blueprint of I have to hide. What do you tell them? How do you help them?
Funny you should ask, because one of the things I was going to talk about today is recreating a set of rituals that works for you as a couple. And this is certainly not exclusive to gay couples. This should be the case for all couples. And of course, if you decide to spend time with your family, the week before the holidays or the month of the holidays or a week later, what can you do as a couple to make the holidays special? Is that a special meal? Is it having your own party at your own house with your friends? The concept of chosen family is about having a set of close friends that really feel like family and celebrating the holidays with them. Establishing rituals that you as a couple do every year that are special just for the holidays, whether it's going on a weekend trip and staying at a hotel or going to a particular restaurant or sharing gifts on a particular day there's so many ways of, establishing rituals.
Yes. And not allowing the imposition of cultural expectations, the trauma of having to hide who you are for a long time, to impose on your freedom to be who you are and love and be together in this time of the year.
I know I'm sounding redundant, but I think what you just said is so important, and people, particularly around the holidays, don't even realize they have an option to
Yes.
do that. It's the one time of the year where people become much more traditional and focused on doing things the way their family always did it, even though they don't have to.
Yes, let's stop being robots, replicating like viruses, replicating ourselves to a disease that we don't like in first place. Let's keep what we want. Let's think about and engineer the holiday that will make us happy, that creates connectivity, that creates and celebrates who we are and not just replicating rituals and stuff that you're not even connected with. Just what for?
Someday, maybe we can spend a holiday together. Wouldn't that be special?
That would be awesome. That
Let's
would
make
be
it happen, or
awesome.
we'll make our own holiday.
Yes.
Are
Yes, that would
there
be awesome.
other ideas or things that we should be speaking about?
We didn't talk about money and how people sometimes spend a lot of money on holidays, and that can be a source of conflict as well. I know that Hanukkah, there are some families spend a lot of money. It's just how many days are there? Seven, nine?
There's 7 days, yeah, so you when you do Christmas and Hanukkah, or maybe there's 8 days, I can't believe I
Oh my
don't
God,
really
what type of
remember,
Jewish are you?
um, a bad one, but so between Christmas and Hanukkah, you get a lot of gifts, although with a lot of my friends that celebrated Hanukkah, they would each be a small gift every night. But there's nothing better, again, growing up Jewish, than having a pile, huge pile of gifts all at once on Christmas Day. And 6th grade, I was obsessed with getting an electric car track as a gift, and I opened all my presents and it wasn't there, and I was so disappointed, and I
Oh.
think my mother probably had it set to the side, so I opened up all the other gifts. I was sunken, so sad, and then the gift came out, and it was, like, the best moment of my life.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's so interesting. My granddaughter is also all about, gifts. Christmas for her is about gifts. My daughter set me aside and said, "You are not going to give her all those gifts that she's asking. Christmas is not about gift giving, it's not about giving gifts. And I do not want her to grow up with this idea and this exchange of gifts means Christmas." She said, "I want to keep the Christmas spirit. I want to have us being together as a family, the most important thing. I want us to be grateful for what we have. And that is the family tradition that I want to have."
That's great. Well, that's a good model for the holidays.
I
You've
know.
done well raising your
Yes.
daughter.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. Even though she had to scold me to remember.
So going back to the money thing, do you advise couples to come up with an amount that they feel comfortable with, or what is your suggestion for people?
Well, I asked them to talk about what is their reality, how they want to do that, what is really important in terms of the holiday, and have them decide how many presents do they want to buy presents and how much to spend. I know that there are different cultures and different cultures. I have a very good friend from India, and she spends a lot of money every time that she goes to India to buy presents for everybody, and that is important for her. Right? That is important for her. I had reduced over time the amount of presents that I bring because again, yeah, I've been changing that over the years, but
Which I think makes life a lot easier, makes the holidays simpler. My partner and I had a group of friends that we would spend Christmas with, or at least a group of friends that we were close to, and we would all share Christmas gifts with each other. And it went on for a long time, and we spent so much money getting each other gifts, and it was sweet, but one by one, we just decided to stop doing it for the sake of ease, and it kept things simpler, and there was a little bit of a loss about not sharing, but boy, was it easier weeks in advance, not having to worry about what it should be, how much, when to share it. I mean, it becomes so pressured.
Exactly. And that's what I started doing as well. I started doing less, and the less that I do, I try to be meaningful for me and the people that I love, because otherwise we feel overworked, overburdened, feeling guilty. Oh, I bought this for this person and not that for that person. Oh, this is more expensive than the other one. Oh, this so letting go of all that and being more authentic with who I am and what I want the holidays to be.
That's great. A couple of years, my partner also is Jewish. He and I went to New York City and we got a cheap hotel and saw the Christmas lights and did fun things. And the day after Christmas is an incredible sale at Saks Fifth Avenue. So that may have been the driver after year one, realizing how good it was going to be. But Christmas Day, we frequently would be in New York where all of our friends or family was busy with their families, and we were kind of alone, walking the streets, going to, like, a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown, and thank God there were people there because not seeing anyone was a little bit lonely. He was fine with it. I think I just like to be around people and around families on that particular day.
Yeah. Why weren't you with your family? Your brother, your sister, your mom.
So, good question. So, my family, we grew up in Connecticut, and that's where we would be for holidays, and my father died about 25 years ago or so, and subsequently, my brother lived in Florida, my mother lived in 2 different places, and we kinda splintered off after that and stopped spending Christmas or the holidays together, including Thanksgiving. We definitely see each other with some regularity, but I think an unspoken norm became that we didn't have to see each other on the exact holiday. So it kind of morphed into that over the years, which is bittersweet in some ways, but also very easy because it's easier to travel at other times. But that's how it happened.
Yes, it can be liberating,
Yeah.
right? It can be
Yeah.
liberating,
Yeah.
but sometimes sad.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, what would you say? What would you give? What advice would you give to couples to prevent some of the issues that we talked about here during the holidays?
So a few things that we've already talked about, which I would like to reiterate, is the concept of chosen family, and that every couple, not just gay couples, gets to choose close friends that they want to be with on the holidays and create their own traditions. The other is the importance of communicating well with each other long in advance, not surprising each other, not imagining that your partner knows what you want and is going to go along with it, to approach it with clarity and maturity. And also, this is important to respect your partner's family. So many of the conversations in my office have resulted in arguments between partners because one partner does not respect their partner's family and they feel completely liberated, unloading on all of their aggressive feelings towards their partner's family. That's not okay. Having a filter is really, really important.
Yeah, it is important to be sensitive about how you talk about your partner's family to your partner
Absolutely.
and how that is going to hurt and how it's going to affect the partner.
You know the old saying that I can talk badly about my family, but you can't?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good advice. And I would say use little breaks to reset your nervous system. Spend 5 minutes and just breathe and just be with each other, just taking a break from all the preparations and the work and things like that. Discuss how you can help your partner if they have a hard time with their family. Talk about how you can save your partner from a specific family member that is aggressive or put down, or when they are regressing into their roles in the family of origin. Discussing that and preparing. You know what you're going to find. So prepare that and discuss what are the traditions that you want to keep, what is important about the holiday, how you want that, and think outside of the box and create what works for you, your own traditions. You don't have to celebrate something on Christmas Day. You can have that a week later or a week before if it's a blended families and you have a lot of people to spend time with.
I have one more thing that I meant to add earlier. You were alluding to conflicts that may arise on the actual visit. And what I thought about, and this is becoming a much bigger topic these days, different politics within families and how to deal with it as a couple and what the plan is going to be. Because if you're going to a family member's home that have different political ideas and they end up speaking politics, is that okay? I always advise people to let their families know that we're not going to talk about politics this year. We want to get along. And frequently there's someone, poking at the other person for kind of their different beliefs, making a joke or referencing something that will inevitably cause family tension. And I think coming up with a plan beforehand for the couple is a good idea because one or both could easily get really angry, especially in the case with gay couples who are more liberal than their families of origins and leave in a huff, which is not ideal.
No, it is not. And it could be about politics, it could be about race or gender or religion. There's always someone who wants to cause conflict or trouble, likes the reaction. I love the idea of, rehearsing or preparing, better saying, preparing what you're going to say, how you're going to face that if that happens.
And also, if it's not your family, is it up to the partner to take them on or is it up to the family member?
Ooh, what do you think?
I think it's up to the family member rather than the partner.
100%. Yes. Because if you make someone in your family mad, you're still your family. But if your partner creates trouble, they might have severed the relationship or might sever the relationship. And can be harder to manage as a couple.
I agree. Anything else that you would like to add?
No, I think we are good. I think we touched on a bunch of stuff. I love this. I think it is important for us to talking about the holidays and preparing for it.
Yeah, you made me kind of get into the holiday spirit a little bit and want to do things differently. So I'll report back to you on that.
All right, put Christmas lights in your home.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thanks as always for joining us for the Modern Couples, What Your Therapist Never Told You. And we will see you and hear you here next time.
Happy holidays.
Bye bye.